Oh, wow. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Oh, fine. So is all happening or what?
Oh, it's all happening in there, mate.
It's all happening in there. They're all busily in there. There's loads of people. There's over 100 people that have come here to see. Only about 30 or 40 of them have got in the courtroom. But it's very busy, getting a lot of support. Funnily enough, the BBC haven't turned up to defend themselves from their terrible behaviour in the last few months.
It's indefensible.
That speaks volumes of how the BBC establishment works. They are establishment run, they're establishment organised, and our establishment dictates itself. So we basically pay for the service, we have no say in how it's run.
Well, that's it. It's just a government's propaganda department.
And that's all it is. And as Brian Gerrish rightly points out, and a lot of we've watched his stuff a lot on the internet. Now we've got the paper, we know how to get hold of it now.
Yeah.
And which we will do. We're called True Ferret Films. We'll give you a card. And we'll be putting this stuff out there as well. We're filming you, filming me.
Have you seen Bill Maloney's films, Pie and Mash?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Bill Maloney. Yeah.
We've watched Bill's films. He's a fabulous filmmaker.
Absolutely great guy.
Done excellent stuff, excellent work on Jersey and the Goran.
Yep.
Amazing stuff. Actually, he blew the bag on Savile long before the BBC.
Well, so did David Icke.
David Icke.
David Icke's excellent.
Yeah.
Then there's a bloke who's much maligned by the press, the mainstream media and the BBC, etc.
Yeah.
But he speaks more truth than a lot of them put together, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He makes more sense, even when he's going on about the lizards and all that sort of stuff, the royal family. I think he's actually got a point. I mean, they're not human, are they? Let's face it. They're not normal, are they? Let's face it.
Well, they've got no empathy.
They've got nothing.
I mean, they're psychopaths. They've got no feelings.
Mate, at the end of the day, these royal families are now realigning, recoalising throughout the world, and they want to take over again.
Yeah.
Through the behest of the Bilderbergs and the Trilateral Commission, who are their, if you like, their propaganda wing, and their military wing. Their military wing is basically now our police, are now, in my opinion, virtually a paramilitary organisation. I mean, if you notice,
you know what they've done, don't you? I mean, it's not permissible really to have the military policing the people.
No.
So what you do, get around it by militarising the police.
The police, that's it.
Which is the same they've done in America.
Absolutely.
And you know, it's totally out of order.
Well, I'm of the opinion, if you look behind me, I'm not saying they keep looking at us, but they wear all black now, just like the SS.
Yes.
And it won't be long before they get a red armband with the pyramid.
It's intimidating, isn't it?
Well, it is intimidating. We come from Brighton.
But this is at all levels. Even at the lower levels, they're giving people uniforms, giving them all powers. I mean, we don't have traffic wardens anymore.
No, they're civil enforcement officers.
Yeah, and wow. And people don't know. They need to know. They need to look. It's all in that paper.
Yeah, and we are going to read it. I will definitely read this.
It's all in that paper. People need to subscribe to the UK column and get the truth, get the information.
Right. Okay.
I want to go in there and see what's going on. All right. Many thanks.
Thank you, sir. Brilliant, mate. Lovely to meet you.
Good.
Yeah, we're going to be subscribing.
Oh, blimey, you're filming me as well. I'm going to go inside and.
Excellent. Good luck, mate.
And see what's going on.
That bloke with the skinhead haircut, he's not the one who covered the Holy Grail case, is he?
No. Well, there's a few pods out here.
So you're not allowed to film in the court precincts?
Sorry?
You're not allowed to film in the court precincts,
I'm not filming in there.
You need to be the other side of the concrete bollards down there.
The other side of the bollards?
Yeah.
Okay, I will do that. I'll go the other side of the bollards. Can we go in the court?
You can go in the court, there's obviously the camera.
Oh no, I'll turn the camera.
Unfortunately, the court, there's absolutely no space in the court.
Not even standing room?
No.
Oh, so how are we going to know what's going on?
I'm sure someone will let you know, sir.
We'll pop down there anyway for us. Let's see, off you go.
I'll tell you what, I'll switch the camera off now.
That's it.
Okay, mate. Sorry? No, it's not. Shut off. Look.
No, you'll have to hand it into here.
Look, shut off. Oh, wait a minute. It was on after all. My mistake. Right. Mr. Farrell, I'll tell you what, it's an absolute honour. It's an absolute honour to see you.
Oh, no.
No, seriously, you've done some very important work, and believe me, a lot of people are talking about you, all right? And don't think that you're undervalued. You're not.
Well, thank you very much. That was flattering.
No, come on.
No, thank you, yeah.
Credit where it's due.
Okay, thank you.
Take ownership of...
All right, thank you.
Now, I missed... They kicked me out. I was actually manhandled out of here, so I couldn't get close to find out what the hell was going on.
Okay.
Right? So, can you give me an indication or what the result was?
Yeah.
And...
Well, I'll explain what's going on in here this morning at the court at Horsham. Is that Tony Rooke, a truther, has refused to pay his BBC TV licence under Section 15 Article 3 of the Terrorism Act. And he got to this stage where we have a hearing today at Horsham, and he's brought in a number of witnesses, myself included, Ian Henshaw, Ray Savage, a former counter-terrorism officer in the regional southwest region. We've been in court. There's been a fantastic turnout. The witnesses and the evidence has not been heard. The judge has taken the evidence that's been submitted into account.
Did you give a reason?
Basically, the outcome is that Tony is not going to be fined, but the evidence is not going to be heard. So there is something like £200 fees for Tony to pay. He's been given a conditional discharge, I believe. I've not spoken to Tony personally, but what's happened is that all the witnesses and all the evidence that's been submitted has not been heard in that hearing.
No surprises there.
So Tony's thanking everybody for the massive turnout, and I don't know what his reaction is going to be and how he's going to respond. If it was me, he could recycle the whole argument under Section 15 Article 3. Should he pay the £200? Because he'd be committing an offence under that act if he was to pay it. So I hope he doesn't pay it.
Okay.
Because by definition, he's still got reasonable cause that these guys, in making the decision they've done today, remain complicit in the cover-up of terrorist activity.
It was a magistrate's court. Who was on the bench?
I don't know.
I've heard it was a judge.
I wasn't, because I was a witness, I've not been inside.
Oh, you haven't?
I haven't been called.
You haven't been called?
I haven't been called.
None
of the witnesses have been called.
You're Tony Farrell and you are an expert witness, are you not?
Well, I was... call me an expert witness or what, but I was one of several witnesses that Tony has asked to come today. I presented a 2-page evidence report to support Tony in his stance on Section 15 Article 3, along with people like Ian Henshaw and Ray Savage. Ray Savage being a former counter-terrorism man. No, not one of us has been called, and none of the evidence has been discussed.
So basically,
the judge has made a decision.
But basically, it's a kangaroo court. It is.
So unfortunately, that's the situation.
That's sad.
I myself have been inspired by Tony's stance on the Section 15 Article 3 of the Terrorism Act. I'm not sure whether he was the first to do it, but he's the only one I've heard that's done it. I've done it. I've been in front of Barnsley Metropolitan Borough Council under the same argument twice, with a slightly different reason, because being thrown out of South Yorkshire Police and knowing what I didn't know about South Yorkshire Police, that Meredith Hughes, the Chief Constable, had a QPM given to him and also had post 7/7 management of the investigation and cover-up of 7/7. Also, my Detective Chief Inspector Steve Williams, who was my manager at the time of my sacking, admitted to me on the 5th anniversary of the 7/7, the day before I made my stance, that he was down on the terror drill and on the day itself. So this was a Detective Chief Inspector from the Force Intelligence Bureau of South Yorkshire Police down on a terror drill on the day of the London bombings. Now, what terror drill was that? Was it Peter Power's drill? Well, if it's Peter Power's drill, then it makes Peter Power out to be an absolute liar, because the last definitive statement Peter Power has made in terms of weaseling out of what he knew and what that exercise was all about was that it was simply a back office staff a handful of people from his own back office that was part of that terror drill. That was like 2 years after he'd given the impression that this was a big exercise. There was 1,000 staff in his organisation, drills at the exact same locations as the bombs. And then therefore he then sort of says that it was just back office staff. Well, what was Williams? Williams wasn't a back office staff. Williams was a detective chief inspector from one particular police force. How many other detective chief inspectors from other police forces were down on that drill in order to feed back to police forces the lie that happened?
Yeah, that makes total sense. Of course, South Yorkshire Police, it's now been discovered or uncovered that they were complicit in the Hillsborough disaster too. So
well, that's been proven over we've had 3 inquiries really. The Lord Justice Taylor, Lord Stuart Smith, and now the Bishop of Liverpool. That inquiry. It's been proven that they've covered up for 23 years. Successive chief constables.
So basically, they can cover up anything.
Well, they're prepared to lie to cover up their reputations. And like when they sacked me, they didn't say I was wrong. They simply said, your views are incompatible with where we're at the moment, and we'll never get the government to tell the truth.
Oh, that's wonderful.
We are just the government foot soldiers. No, we're not the government foot soldiers. They're public servants, and they have a duty of care to the public to tell the truth.
Incompatible with government.
There should be no sacred cows.
No, I agree with you totally.
But there are sacred cows at the moment.
And unfortunately, we've been sold down the river by successive governments. I call them governments, they're not really, they're just quasi-dictators in my opinion.
But what I will say is that there's more and more people now from the police service are coming up to me and asking for help. They are wanting to engage. They are telling me that there's networks of paedophiles and they are having difficulty breaking through at the higher ranking service. And they need help. They need help. So it's police service. There's some good coppers.
Oh no, not doubting.
Right, and they need help. They need need more. They need to see more of this kind of thing.
I think they do.
A great turnout today. And people need to be standing up for the truth. And as a result of what's happened today, I would urge everybody to consider whether they should be paying their council tax and their licence fees. I think Tony won the argument today.
He did.
Therefore, people should be considering making a similar stance on the Section 15, Article 3 of the Terrorism Act. And in fact, if you're not making a stance, you should be bloody well arrested because you're committing an offence under the Terrorism Act.
Absolutely.
Now that if you all believe that 9/11 was an inside job and you believe 7/7 was an inside job, then to actually go and pay your tax, a proportion of which goes to the police service, it's utterly covering up all of this. Then you yourself, you are actually committing a criminal offence.
There's all taxes across the board now are funding terrorism.
I think the best way we can support Tony is collectively get together, lawful rebellion, don't pay your council tax under that offence, and don't pay your BBC TV licence. Now, if we all did that, they'd soon start to take note.
They couldn't do anything. They're caught to come to a standstill.
What Tony's done today with his bravery, in the first to do this, actually, people follow suit, because I think that's the way we can actually start to hit them hard.
Absolutely.
I just hope that people will be brave enough to follow Tony's lead. Once you do, it's liberating.
Certainly we are. Well, that's what we call True Ferret Films. We are the True Ferret Films. And thank you for your interview. Thank you. You're a great man. Tony's a great man. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Very much appreciated. Hopefully, we'll get this on UK.
And I'll just say hello to Brian and Mike.
Oh, certainly. Well, say hello yourself.
All right. It's been a good day today.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bye.
Thank you, Tony.